Good morning, it's Dr. James. Hey, I hope you're off to an awesome start today. And I gotta tell you, right now I am doing something called Shin Rin Therapy. And I'm gonna give you a little taste of Shin Rin Therapy. This is actually based on some really cool research coming out of Japan. And you know what's interesting? The Japanese and American workers have a lot in common. We tend to work too many hours. We tend to be very highly stressed. We tend to have overactive sympathetic nervous systems, which connects with inflammation and anxiety disorders and lack of focus and just, you know what, being too tired to keep running and too scared to stop. So I was reading a really cool study that I want you to embrace today. It's called Shin Rin Therapy. And Shin Rin Therapy is simply the idea of walking in the woods. In fact, in Japan, there's these trails called Shin Rin Therapy trails. And what they're all about, it's literally just walking in the woods. And over the last 13 years, there have been therapists and researchers who've been actually connecting with people before and after their Shin Rin Therapy, literally walking in the woods. And they've noticed that people are literally changing physiologically by just beginning a walk in the woods. And when they come back from the woods, they are seeing lower levels of cortisol, upwards of 12 to 15% lower heart rate, lower blood pressure, and a decrease in activity in their sympathetic nervous system. In the sympathetic nervous system, you know what that's like. It's when the red light becomes personal. It's when we overreact to an email that's not necessarily something we should be reacting to. It's when we find ourselves not loving ourselves very well. It's when we find ourselves being in judgment and being overreactive. So I'm going to tell you, this right here is Shin Rin Therapy. And yes, it's May, and yes, it's snowing, and yes, it's awesome. And yes, you and I get an opportunity each and every day to give ourselves an adult timeout. When you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling blue, when you're feeling anxiety, all the great research says is that if we can give ourselves a Shin Rin intervention, simply walk in the woods, it'll change our physiology, it'll change our emotional well-being, and I believe it can change our life. So let's you and I dedicate ourselves to Shin Rin Therapy and live with our hearts out loud. So I'm going to go walk in these woods right here. I hope you have an opportunity to walk outside today and absolutely say, yes, I love myself, I'm open to growing and creating a life that I love, and Shin Rin is me. I love you. Have an awesome day. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.